Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 22 of the Common Pod, sponsored by Buffalo Sports Emporium. As always, welcome the boys, Rick and Tom.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Glad to have the trio here. We don't get to have the trio very often, so it's pretty awesome. We have a fun one for you guys today. We're actually going to have a really cool draft. We'll explain it when we get there for all three of us, but we'll get to headlines real quick. We got some, not too many call-ups, just a few we got. Sebastian Walcott, obviously a pretty big, prominent young superstar prospect per se, big power guy, called up to Double A for the Rangers in the last week of the season for them. We got Walker Jenkins called up to Double A, which is also awesome. Javier Sonoja called up for the MLB and logs his first hit. Good for him. Actually, a really interesting guy for the Marlins. He's actually a pretty good prospect for them. It's weird because obviously the Marlins have just revamped the farm system a bit, but he was actually number 14 on their prospect list and looking pretty good since the bigs. We got Chandler Simpson. Rick, this is very much a Rick prospect. His 100th stolen base in the minors. Like, that's absurd, man.
We did a whole segment on him 3 or 4 episodes ago on if speed and stolen, like a one category guy, can make an impact in the hobby. My consensus was no, and yours was kind of on the other side of the coin.
We've kind of seen it already with Billy Hamilton, so be interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then we got Arelis Martinez is back playing. Pretty controversial, obviously. He got caught for PEDs, but 2 doubles in his first game back. This is a hard one for value because obviously, I mean, we saw Noel V. Marte get the suspension call the beginning of this year. He came back and he's been terrible. So Arelis Martinez obviously coming back hitting 2 doubles. Is he back in AAA for the Bisons?
I'm not entirely sure.
Rick, you know? Arelis Martinez.
Yes.
Is he back in AAA with the Bisons?
Yes. Yeah. 2 doubles today.
Cool. Well, he's back at home. And then we got Scherzer and DeGrom back this week. This is pretty cool. I mean, DeGrom is going to be back. So, I mean, this is huge for baseball and any collector and anyone that loved to see him. He was clearly the most dominant pitcher one of the most dominant pitchers we've ever seen in baseball and one of the funnest players to chase in hobby. So, he's back. Hopefully, we get him healthy. And then we got the greatest player to ever touch the game, the diamond, a baseball, a bat, Shohei Ohtani. He sets his career high RBIs. Don't shake your head at me. He set his career high in RBIs and home runs and hit a 450-foot nuke to do it. So that's it for headlines right now. I think there'll be a bunch more next week as we wind down to playoff time, September call-ups and stuff. But we're going to run with it, actually. We just recently came off a nice card show. A couple of them, actually. We had David Adams a couple weeks ago, and then we had a local one yesterday. It was actually a really good show for me and Rick here. Tom, this is a story we're going to tell you because it's absolutely hilarious. We both did quite well. We made thousands, actually, like separately. So what happened was I walk into the show, we set up, and not only 20 minutes later, one of the vendors is like, "Oh, I want to buy some cards." He's like flashing cash and everything. So I go, "I have all my big stuff out in my showcase." And I told him, like, "Buy it right now." He goes, "Value it." So I comped it all out to like 85, 9,000. He ended up giving me 7,000 cash for everything. And so I was like empty. So I was just like, "Rick, throw whatever you want in the showcase." I got to go around and start buying stuff. So I bought a Junior Bowman First Auto PSA 10 and a Marcelo Mayer Bowman First PSA 10. A couple other things here and there, nothing crazy. But later in the show, one of my buddies ends up buying the Bobby Witt from him. And then I buy it back from him for less than I bought it for at National. Then that same dude comes up. He's flashing the Marcelo Mayer in my face. "You want to buy a card?" I go, "Yeah, I'll buy it. I'll give you $1,700 for it." Meanwhile, I bought that at National for $2,600. You know how much I bought that for, Tom? I bought it for $1,800.
Jesus.
And then I bought 5 other cards back for less than I sold them for.
It's all part of the
Yeah.
prospecting.
Yeah, like not only did you buy it back for less, but you sold it. Like it wasn't just what you paid for at the National; it was what you and he comped together for what he was going to pay you for was close to what you paid for the National. So it's like he basically paid you $2,000 to just be able to hold your cards for a few hours.
Yes,
That's
essentially.
basically what happened.
There's actually a few cards I really want to get back from him. Like there's a Max Clark and another Jordan Lawler I want to get back. But I mean, I actually, and then I still had a lot of money left over, so I went on a spending spree. I bought a bunch of other shit. Like I was like, you took all. It's like he took all my bum shit, and then he like regretted it, so I bought it all back at like 80%. I was like, you don't have to take the deal. But this is what I'm gonna pay you. I was like, whatever. It was great. So I got all my big stuff back. It's funny as hell. And then I just went on a buying spree. But then I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I have nothing left right now. This kind of sucks. And then I'm like, me and Rick got like a 45 card grading order coming back in like a month, and then another 20 card grading order coming back after that. So I'll have plenty of inventory. I just end up buying some more shit on Facebook and stuff. But yeah, great. It was a great show. Rick, you made a ton on vintage, right?
Yeah, I mean, show was great. There was a lot of people. I think it was, if I remember correctly, I was just a buyer last year. I wasn't a seller at this time, and he strategically does it the Saturday before the first Bills game, the home opener. And foot traffic was really steady from opening through like the lunch hour.
These shows locally have actually been like really good lately. They've been really nice. I mean, even with baseball slowing up right now, I think we did very strong baseball wise. It was great. I think
we did great.
I would wish we did have more modern baseball people to come by. There's not really a ton, but like I mean, when there is, they obviously buy quite a bit. So,
yeah,
Tom, you gotta
great
come
day.
soon.
Definitely.
Yeah. But we'll roll into it. This actually probably will be one of our shorter episodes because there's not a lot talked about right now, and we got a lot going on. And Rick's old; he's got to go to bed. But so what we want to do for you guys is, we're rolling into the end of 24 season, and we're seeing a lot of out of the big. There was a lot of prospect call up this year, so we want to do a little bit of a draft for you, have a little fun with it, and talk about it rolling into 2025. Who we think is going to be the highest value players, probably going into 25, and probably who we think are going to be just the general highest value throughout the season. These aren't going to include any single prospects that has gotten called up this year. We're not including Holiday Cruz, any of those guys, Langford. These are guys who are all going to be into the minors next year, guaranteed. So we'll start off with the draft. We'll explain it. We actually have a draft order. I'm going to share the screen with you guys now. If you're on YouTube, we'll talk about it, obviously, for you Spotify guys. Right now, 2025 most valuable prospects. We got Rick is first pick. I am second. Tom is third. Going to be the snake around, and we'll run from there. So it's essentially what we're going to do here. We'll talk about it obviously, but these are players that who are going to go into the 25 season and who are going to be the most valuable players going into the season. Just like we did just in 24, obviously we had Holiday, Cruz, Langford, all those guys. We'll be doing that for you right at this moment. So, obviously, Rick, you have the first pick. You go ahead, buddy.
So a lot of pressure, right? I've been nervously thinking about this one for the last hour and a half or whatever since you set the draft order. I'm gonna go with the no-brainer first because we're friends. I know exactly who you're gonna take at number 2. I'm not an asshole. I'm not gonna pull the rug out from under you. So I'm gonna go with who will most likely debut at number 1 once Junior and Dylan Cruz both graduate, and that is Walker Jenkins of the Minnesota
I already
Twins.
put it in as we were talking. Obviously, Walker Jenkins, a very obvious pick, high school draft pick last year, and has been really solid. and has clearly had some of the most valuable in Bowman we've seen. His parallels and everything are going for a ton of money. And I would say, for me, obviously, I think that's the consensus first pick. What about you, Tom? How are you thinking about that?
Not a bad one. Wasn't the name I had in mind, but
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Sneaky.
I got some curveballs
All right.
on this
All
one.
right.
Love
I
it.
think there's only 2 other names that I think would have went first overall. But for me, this is the guy that has got called up, and I'll type it in right there. This is the guy who I think has gotten his call up to AAA, and the same. I mean, 19 years old. I think he just turned 20. Absolutely murdering the ball, and just his five tool player is unbelievable. His meteoric rise is crazy. I'm going because I'm a homer, and he's purely showed it. Roman Anthony, kid's an absolute monster. I mean,
Yeah.
what's more to say?
What's really cool about Roman is if you kind of look back through his stats year by year, last year he made, I think, 3 jumps, and his best performance was his last stop last year at AA. And this year he's having a way better season in AAA than he did AA, right? So the kid, like, he's rising to the occasion. He's showing he's ready for the next step. He probably honestly would be the 3rd best player in the lineup in Boston right now. The kid's awesome.
Tom, how you feel about it?
I like it. Roman Anthony. I mean, I don't pay attention a lot to Red Sox prospects, so I really can't have a lot to say about him. But knowing you and how high you picked him, he's probably a pretty good choice.
Excellent. So we'll roll around to Tom. Tom, 2 picks. You pick your guy, and then tell us about him.
All right, so my first one is going to be a guy from this year's draft, but probably one of the names that a lot of people aren't going to expect. It's Christian Moore. In my opinion,
Wow.
the most major league ready bat that was in the draft, more so than Bazana, more so than everybody else. Started off the year. I think he's hurt now, right? Basically off for the rest of the minor league season.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, but I did check. I mean, I didn't think he was going this early, but I mean, from what I've seen for his stats, he's batting like 321 with 5 home runs. I think he went up 3 levels. Yeah. I mean, his prices will be crazy.
Oh, I think, like I said, I think he's going to be the most profitable out of this draft. Like you said, Bazana, Condon, all that sort of stuff. But from the first month that we've seen most of these guys in the minors, he's been the most flashy. 330 average, 6 homers, 16 RBIs, with a 42% fly ball rate. And I mean, that just tells me that he's going to be able to hit a lot of home runs. He's going to have the flashy stats. That's going to end up carrying prices. So
yeah, from when I mean, like when I looked at his stat line, I mean, you look at the numbers: 321, rose 3 levels since he joined. Obviously, won the World Series with Tennessee. He has the sexy stats. He has what you want to be at, and he's most likely going to get the call next year. We thought he was going to get the call next year or this year, barring the injury, obviously. But he looks really good, and he has a very good bid to make the Angels starting lineup next year. It looks really freaking good. So yeah, I mean, not a bad pick. It's surprising, obviously, curveball. I expected Tom to throw a bunch of curveballs in this draft.
Oh, there's gonna be a bunch of curveballs. Don't you worry.
I'm gonna make this pick, and it's gonna piss off Rick.
Snake, hold on. Tom's got one more pick.
Snake.
Oh God,
Don't
you're
jump
right.
the gun.
It's Snake. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun.
There.
Yeah, I won't take this.
I'm running it. I'm already fucking up.
You're a homer, and I know who it's gonna be. So,
you think?
I'm going with the first pitcher on the list. That's Chase Dolander.
Holy shit!
Solid. I love that pick.
I think.
All right, wait. Let me talk about this though. Let me say this before we do this. Before we make that pick, does Chase Dolander have any Bowman first autos?
Doesn't matter. In my opinion.
I don't know if Chase Dolander has any cards.
Yes, I don't think it's licensed cards yet.
Let's you know what, Tom? I'm just gonna step in. How about let's go with I love the pick, truthfully. I do. Let's go with someone else because I don't think Chase Dolander actually has a Bowman first auto. Right?
He doesn't have a Bowman card at all.
I don't think he has anything.
No.
So let's push off from Chase Dollander because I fucking thoroughly agree, and I think that kid's an absolute psychopath. He's amazing. His strikeout potential is incredible. But let's go with someone else on that one.
Then we'll just go with another pitcher, Kumar Rocker, another one that I've been talking about a lot.
Yes.
He for sure underwrites a Bowman first, so that one we don't have to worry about.
He absolutely does.
But still, he honestly may get the call by the end of the year. So, but as of right now, he's still in the minors.
Yeah, I thoroughly agree. I love that. He also actually, Tom, I just bought one. I showed Rick earlier. I bought one on Facebook. He has a Mega Box auto too. And I actually bought his gold Mega Box auto PSA 10. And it's awesome because I think his stuff's going to fly up. And, it's a really, really good pick in my opinion. Because you see, I think in the value-wise and most valuable, and it's a good way to look at what we're doing in this draft. Value-wise, his stuff is still it's going up a lot, but I think he's at a point right now where he's still buyable. And when he gets that call, I think you're going to see his price of his cards be fucking crazy. And I think he might get the Paul Skeens effect, but it's purely because he actually is. Yeah. Before Paul Skeens, he was what we were looking at. Kumar Rocker, clearly the best pitcher in the 23 season or 22 season for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Obviously had all the draft stuff, but purely in stuff, strikeout, blah, 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 everything. He was supposed to be Paul Skeens before Paul Skeens. He is that good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got like the boomerang of hype, right? Massive amount of hype early on. And then obviously tailed off. And now the hype is way back.
Yeah. Unfortunately, missing a couple of years, 25 already, but still a lot of time.
Yeah. All right. So
Rich Hills was still pitching until like 3 days ago. So we're good.
I don't want to talk about it. Like the Red Sox, I can't believe they just blew the White Sox today. Oh God. So I had my pick locked in, but now I'm thinking about it. I feel like this guy's prices at the moment are so unbelievably high, and he has so much hype behind him. I'm gonna pick Max Clark. I told you I was gonna piss you off. So obviously we know where my pick was probably gonna go, but barring injury, because Max Clark did have a healthy season, he did play pretty well, and he has shown that he's progressing. And I'm purely basing it because I think his power numbers are going to be better than the guy who you thought I was going to pick. This guy I didn't like him at first. Came out of Bowman Draft 23. And I wasn't high on him. I think he started off really cold, but obviously he's really in his stuff dropped really heavy. But you're looking at him now and he's really developing and being, a 5-tool athlete for the game. And he's looking really, really, really good. And I think Max Clark prices are crazy. And obviously when he pushes more towards AA and AAA, they're going to go up even more. And I think his stuff is so valuable right now that he's going to go into the 25 season being one of the most hyped guys, probably in like the Churio or James Wood role that they were in the offseason. So I go with Max Clark for my second pick. To you, Rick.
What a snake. Gave you Roman Anthony. You fucking snaked my guy. All right. I had a plan here. I think I'm going to deviate from the plan, just like you just did. So my first pick on this end of the snake is going to be Aiden Miller.
Wow. Aiden Miller.
Yep. Okay. Yep. I mean, he was one of those guys where Phillies were obviously buyers, right? They're making a push for the World Series. He was absolutely don't even breathe his name. I think Justin Crawford was kind of towing that line too, but like he's locked in as a future face of this franchise. And the other one here, and I said I was trying to be a good friend. I'm going to go Bryce Eldridge.
Oh, God damn it. No. All right. There's a fucking obvious reason. Jesus.
I'm going Bryce Eldridge. Well, first, because the kid's an absolute monster, right? I mean, he's been
no brainer. Yeah. No brainer.
Yeah.
Listen,
it's already on the rise. Like he's
crazy
already there. Yeah. So I think the hype train can only push this kid into the stratosphere.
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago, you remember I bought his refractor Bowman first auto. I bought the thing for $70. It is now almost it's pushing plus $200 for that thing raw.
Mm-hmm.
This kid at 19 years old is doing shit better than most guys. I think the only players that are doing better than him right now are like that are hotter are like Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell. Like,
yep.
I don't see anyone in like AAA or anything or AA doing what this kid's doing. And at 19 years old, dude, I mean, it's honestly I wanted to pick him in the second round too. I wouldn't be surprised if he is the number one guy going into like beginning of 25 because he's that good and he's only getting better. Tom, do you know a lot about Bryce Eldridge?
Oh yeah, it was gonna be my first round pick, but I passed on him because I thought I was gonna be able to snake back around one more time.
Yeah, well, you couldn't because he's amazing and we know everything. But yeah, Rick, that's an awesome pick. I actually thought you were gonna take my pick again, but you know what? This is why I thought he'd fall a little bit to me. So we'll push to my pick now, and it's obvious we're going Marcelo Mayer. So the reason I was kind of doubtful on Marcelo Mayer is because obviously the injury to his lumbar derailed his season at the end, but he obviously made a lot of strides to get back to the high prospect he was. He had a terrible 2022 or 23, and his 24 was really great. He has so much hype, obviously, because he's a Red Sox prospect, and he had so much caliber in high school. My big issue with Mayer, and that was why I didn't go with the first round pick for him, is his power numbers. I mean, obviously, I have one of his best cards available, but it does. His power numbers do really scare me right now. 8 home runs this year, and it wasn't like the dude didn't have a cup of coffee. This dude had a whole fucking dinner, 3-course meal in his minor leagues this year. 8 home runs all year. I think he played like almost 90 games. And it's concerning because he's not a speedy shortstop. You know, they said he might move off shortstop because of his speed, but his athleticism obviously is great, and his gloves and arms great. But for me to see him obviously as it's going to be number one here, I got to see those power numbers next year. Obviously, boom. But he could also be a big spring training roster guy. So, yeah, Marcelo Mayer. Tom, your third pick.
All right, this one's going to be Samuel Basallo. The Orioles.
Rick's going to throw something.
Average, I know my guy. Young. I know he's going to be behind Adley, but they'll find space for him once they feel comfortable giving him a look. Or he might be a trade piece down the line. Regardless, a lot of talent there. A lot of promise. Struggling a little bit, but
Rick, I feel like you got something to say here.
Yeah, he's an absolute. I was going to take him instead of Aiden Miller. I was going to go Basallo Eldridge on my turn around the corner there. I actually think I got a hunch that Kobe Mayo is actually going to be the trade piece, and Basallo will be their first baseman of the future.
I agree.
I mean, the kid is just he's a professional hitter now. He's incredible. He's head and shoulders the best chase out of 23 Chrome. Everyone was paying crazy money for Ethan Salas. It was this kid the entire time. Yeah, I think he's phenomenal.
Oh, I didn't know Basallo was Chrome also.
Yep.
Oh, I was not aware of that. I agree, Tom. But on the case of him being the backup to Adley, I truthfully think Basallo is going to be their first baseman. I just think because of his size, I just don't think his athleticism is going to keep up to be a catcher. And you got Adley for how many more years? You'll probably get like a Danny Jansen like guy to back Adley up, throughout the years. I just think Basallo's going to be too valuable with his bat to throw him, at catcher. But I agree. Awesome pick. He's an absolute beast.
His arm is phenomenal too. Like he guns guys from his knees.
Yeah, I know.
He's got a killer arm.
So, I mean, regardless, they might even switch time at first between Adley and him. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, to him to there's a lot of guys that do that now. So maybe they will stick him at catcher and first base. Fine with me. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Schwarber caught a lot of games for a lot of years.
Hell yeah.
He did. And then his bat was way better when he didn't.
Yep.
All right, Tom, second pick for the 4th round.
All right. Guy that was in the CJ Abrams trade that's starting to gain a lot of traction. Pitcher Yarlin Susana.
Okay. I thought you were going to go somewhere different with that.
No. He's really turned it on lately.
And he just entered the top 100.
Yeah.
Number 98, I believe.
So 228 average against right now, 157 Ks in 103 innings. So that's almost 13 Ks per 9.
Holy fuck.
And like his ground ball rate is basically almost like 50-60% on hitters, which is basically unheard of. That's like Stroman numbers, incredible. But with a much higher strikeout percentage than Stroman numbers. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive.
He's 20 years old right now. Probably, honestly, the best piece out of that trade, like talent-wise, that we haven't seen in the majors yet. I mean, there's Hassel still and other names, but
yeah. Who was so that trade was what? It was CJ Abrams and Susana for.
Well, it was Hassel's part of it. Hassel.
Oh, it was the Juan Soto trade.
Soto, yeah, and Abrams went.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was Soto for Abrams, Susana, and Hassel.
And there was a couple other names too.
Yeah, I mean that might bite them in the ass. They really might. All right, so it's to me now. I was too busy talking. I didn't fucking prepare. I was so dead set on Bryce Eldridge. God, this is a tough one. I think I got to go to the obvious one. I'm going to go with Lazaro Montez. Not how you spell it. There we go. Lazaro Montez. I mean, this kid is an absolute fucking monster for the Mariners. I believe he was also a 23 Bowman Chrome. Bowman Chrome, 23 Bowman Chrome looks great now.
He's Bowman. He's just Bowman. 23 Bowman.
I thought I pulled his card out of Mega.
He has an auto in Bowman Chrome Mega for sure, but his first Bowman auto is in 23 Bowman.
Okay, so 23 Bowman. Yeah, obviously you see the rise of this kid, and we're comping him to Yordan Alvarez. This kid could be Yordan Alvarez who plays the field because he's really good in the field too. His prices are also one of the highest at the moment for guys currently still in the minors. He's looking like an absolute stud, and we obviously the Mariners could obviously use him. So, yeah, for me, that's all I have to say. Kids might be Yordan Alvarez. Anything of you, Rick, Tom?
I'm a big fan. Always been a big fan.
Yeah. I couldn't say it better. He's Yordan 2.0.
All right. Rick, you on the roundabout?
Man, this is a tough one. I'm going to go arm. I'm going to go Jackson Jobe.
Ooh, I love him.
Yeah.
And he just got his call up to AAA recently.
Yeah. I think he actually now is the number one arm in the MLB pipeline as far as the actual rankings go. Obviously, he's got a knock against him for the team he plays for, but I mean, the kid's stuff is absolutely ridiculous. So,
yeah, he is a goddamn stud. I mean, it was obviously a tough draft pick, high school arm. You never know, but his slider. When I was watching videos, his slider, and it's absolutely redonkulous. Like, I mean, he's just so talented, and I'm just thinking in this draft of arms wise, like Jobe, I think would still be in there. But I mean, like, if this was like a month ago when we did this, like we'd have so many other guys. Like Rhett Lauder clearly would have been in here. So many other guys, but Jackson Jobe is a prime pick. I mean, kid's going to be an absolute monster. These are all names that are going to be phenomenal value for next year, and probably will be call-ups. So, next pick for you, buddy.
Man, I got like 5 different names here. I want to go with where my money's at, but the Rays
I'm trying to do.
But the Rays are so shitty how they handle the call-ups with how awesome their farm system is. They delay call ups.
Believe it or not, I don't have any. I don't have any of them on here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with who I think will be a pretty fast riser, and his cards are already big money. I'm gonna go Colt Emerson.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna throw in a pick here. I don't want to, but I really thought you were gonna go with Xavier Isaac still.
Yeah, dude. That's what I want to go with, but I don't think he's even gonna make the bigs until 2026.
I also don't think on it. I mean, even Braden. I know I have a Braden Taylor Black auto. I don't have a lot of high hopes for them. You know, you're seeing a trend of when these guys hit AA for the Rays, they just suck.
Dude, look how far into this list we are at. No one has picked Carson Williams, and he's like the number 5 overall prospect in baseball.
And I think Carson Williams is I think out of all the Rays prospects, I think he's obviously the best one. He's awesome. Dude's still only hitting like 250.
Yeah, he has a lot of flaws.
Yeah, strikeouts. I mean, he hits bombs, but I don't like him that much. I really don't. I mean, you're seeing what's coming out of the Rays prospect, their farm. Like, who's the best guy, truly? Who's the best guy to come out of the last few years for them besides Wander Franco?
Besides in Junior?
Yeah, and Junior. It's literally Josh Lau.
Yeah.
Or Josh Lau. Pretty sure he was traded.
He's low. So it's Josh Lowe.
Josh Lowe. It's Josh Lowe. Josh Lowe has literally been the best player for them, and his cards are worth dog shit. And Sean, who's part of it, like, he loves Josh Lowe, and he loves it because he
compared him to Ronald Acuna on this podcast.
It was fantastic. I remember we put out the episode, and Rick texted me. He goes, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Sean if he ever compares Josh Lowe to Ronald Acuna.
Great fantasy.
Josh Lowe's a fantastic player, but like, there's no hype from him. And I feel like, I mean, Junior is obviously gonna has the crazy hype and is gonna be a superstar. It's just like, I just feel fucking Carson Williams is gonna fall in the same boat as all these other white shortstop middle infielders that they have, and they just keep pumping them out, but they're not that good. I don't say. But yeah, now back to Colt Emerson. Colt Emerson's talented, man, and his cards are getting big. Like, I see a lot of his purple Bowman first autos, and they look really good, and they are going for a lot of money. A lot of his stuff has eye appeal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Mariner blue, but his sapphire auto, just the base blue is fucking gorgeous.
It's great. Oh, let's see, I gotta cross Aiden Miller off. Yeah, I mean, Emerson's a big riser, and obviously the Mariners still have a very prominent farm system, and I think he's besides Montez, I think he's a real headliner in there too. So I'm gonna be the first one to do it. I'll be the first one to break the non-Bowman, because we obviously, we went with Chase Dollander. We didn't go with him because we don't know if he'll ever have a Bowman first, and currently he doesn't. But the guys who were drafted recently, we obviously know they're going to have Bowman first. So I'm going to go with Travis Bazzana. First overall consensus pick. We obviously knew that. He was phenomenal last year for Oregon State. And a really cool narrative, first Australian baseball player to be drafted. I did it because I see his talents at second base. And we don't have a lot of big second base in the league. And I think he can hop in and be such a big name, a Jose Altuve-esque big power bat at second. And a lot of hype. The reason I pick him, I would love to have picked him in the first round, purely because when Bowman Draft comes out, his stuff is going to be so fucking expensive. And we obviously know that with the trends. We know how expensive it's going to be. So Bazzana, and he's one of the few players currently in that draft that has actually played relatively decent.
Yeah, he'll be a $300 base chrome, at least, right out of the rip.
Absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely. And I think, obviously, the hype will carry into, because we're going to be getting drafted in like December, January, usually the time we get it. And obviously, that's what we'll be seeing him, and it'll be carrying the spring training with a lot of fucking hype. So, Travis Bazzana. Tom, double up.
This one, I didn't know he was actually having this dominant of a year. I'm gonna go with Noah Schultz.
Ooh.
Great pick.
Listen.
Great pick.
At this podcast, we love pitchers, and I love that pick.
And I love pitchers more than anybody else. So
yes, you do.
Sub 2.5 ERA. I know he's with the White Sox, so that's kind of, not an ideal situation. But they have to turn it around sooner or later. But averaging over a K per inning, low, under 1 WHIP. I mean, hard to come by in a lot of the pitchers nowadays I've noticed, especially these ones coming out of high school, college, because velocity is so high and so coveted now, there is a ton of walks. And if you find a pitcher that does not have a ton of walks in the minors, sky's the limit for these pitchers. So that's kind of why I went Noah Schultz. Only 24 and 84 innings.
I mean, dude,
really can't go wrong.
I mean, 109 strikeouts and 84. My big thing is, are we going to see Noah Schultz be a relief pitcher?
Sure should hope not.
Yeah. That's my only worry with that.
I don't think so.
I'm about to say
they made Garrett Crochet a starter.
Exactly. That was the name I was going to throw out there.
Yeah. He did.
They started him as a reliever.
He had 22 games started this year, so obviously it's a good sign. So I love the pick purely because he has been dominant and he's a big lefty. But Tom, what can you please tell me what's the most eye-popping thing about him?
Eye-popping? Low walk rate.
I think the eye-popping thing is he's fucking 6'9".
6'9".
I didn't know he was
he's an absolute fucking behemoth, dude.
He's 6'9", 220.
God,
he's a big fucking. He's a big stick. This kid is humongous.
Hey, it's fine by me.
My left leg weighs more than him. This kid's huge, but he's like so skinny. This kid honestly might be Randy Johnson, like humongous, huge.
He gained some weight. Even
he is a stud. And Noah Schultz does have Bowman first in 2022 draft. His golds are clearly going for over probably 1,000 right now.
Yeah, big money.
But I love that pick. I love it. I love Tom going to the pitchers. I fucking love it. Tom, number 2.
Do I go with the homer pick now?
You go. I think your homer pick already went, but sure.
All right. So I'm gonna do it. I'm afraid that.
Oh yes, yeah, okay.
He's not gonna carry everything over into the majors, but I'm going Davison De Los Santos.
Ooh.
Wait, homer pick. You went Marlins?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna pick Tamar.
I thought you were gonna pick someone else. Well, actually,
wait, are you a Phillies guy or Pittsburgh guy? Who's your team?
I'm a Phillies fan.
Phillies fan. Fuck.
Yeah, but
I was
he
close
likes
in
the
Pennsylvania.
But
I know your affinity for the Marlins farm system.
But, you know what? Oh my god, I feel really stupid because I feel like Davison De Los Santos should have went in the first 3 rounds.
It's a great pick.
I was waiting as long as I can.
Oh my god! Holy shit! Tom, please give the rundown of Davison De Los Santos and those stats.
So why I said that I'm a little worried is the fact that he does have such a high strikeout rate, and that's always been an issue in his career, as long as a high ground ball rate. But the fact that even though he does have that, the dude's still hitting over 300. The dude has 37 homers this year, over 110 RBIs in the minors, which is unheard of for most times, except if you're people like Luke and Baker, who just is a career minor leaguer. But
hey, he's hitting dongs in MLB.
I'm just saying, 353 on base percentage too, with that high of a strikeout rate. You can't go wrong. He's going to have a spot in the Marlins lineup probably next year. I doubt we see him this year. 21 years old, and the Marlins don't have any people that's going to hold him back. He's not going to be stuck in the minors because they have an all-star first, third, stuff like that. So I got to do it. It's kind of hard.
I love it.
Yeah, kind of hard not to go with him there.
Rick, how you feel?
Oh, I love Davey. Obviously, for his sake, for his value sake, we all wish he was still probably a D-back. Obviously, the Marlins are kind of where prospects and a lot of times value go to die. But, the kid just hits absolute missiles. He honestly probably is one, other than maybe Susana. He's probably currently the lowest base auto on the list. But chicks and guys who collect pictures of guys on cardboard love the long ball. So
we love grown men on cardboard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's gonna come up.
Davis
He's gonna hit
Dos Santos
skyrocket.
I mean, obviously we've seen another meteoric rise for the minors. Dude, honestly, we barely. I mean, at the beginning of this year, we barely knew who the guy was. I mean, he was just such a minuscule prospect. You shut up. You know what? You two probably knew him. I didn't really know who he was. Okay, I'll speak for myself. Yeah, I didn't. Fuck me, right? They're. I'm like, yeah, we, and they're like, no, fuck you. You don't know shit. So
he's at a 23 Bowman Chrome too.
Yeah, so I wasn't super familiar with him. He had okay stats in his first year. But like the way he just kind of shot up this year was crazy. And obviously for the Diamondbacks, they're like, holy shit, this is huge for us. We can obviously trade for some big stuff here. And they did, obviously, in their trade. A big monster pickup for the Marlins farm, and currently leading the minors in home runs. I think he's almost at 40. I think he's at 38 or 37.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, he's a big boy.
He ended last year so strong, but for whatever reason, again, I don't know if there's an underlying character issue here or not, but they didn't protect him. They didn't add him to the 40 man, right? So the Guardians took him in the Rule 5. He did an okay spring, but I think they're so confident in what Manzardo is going to do potentially
and doing,
right? So they didn't sign him to the active roster out of spring. So he went back to Arizona, was leading all of minor league baseball in home runs before the trade to the Marlins. So yeah, I mean the kid's got just massive power.
So oh shit, it's my pick. I was prepped. I was too busy oogling over Davis and De Los Santos. All right. So I'm actually probably gonna steal what I thought Tom's pick was gonna be. You know, we got son of a former major leaguer, Carl Crawford's son, Justin Crawford. I mean, so I was a little. I hate that we fucking think so much alike. It's fun. It's too fun. I mean, if you look at Justin Crawford, this fucking kid is, I was a little down on him at first because he kind of struggled with his power numbers, but then you look at his average, and I just truly don't think he's going to go the way of Jacob Wilson with the power numbers, and purely because they're still 2.5, 3 years apart. Justin Crawford currently is in Double-A. He got called up. He had 35 games there, dude. And he's hitting 331. Clearly that's not a cup of coffee. It's quite a nice sample size, 30-something games. And he's hit 2 home runs since he's been there. Hey guys, he's 20 years old on one of the most prominent franchises in baseball right now. With a power lineup like the Phillies have, and in a year or two, if he slides in, he's gonna have the narrative, the spotlight. This kid could be an absolute monster. He's only 188 pounds, but dude, he's 6'2". Like, he ain't small, and he's fast as shit. This kid's gonna be good. And if obviously he puts on some more weight, gets that power swing, kind of like how Carl Crawford did later in his career, I think you could see a real star in Justin Crawford. And he's gonna have, I mean, he definitely dipped. If you can see his trends. They dipped quite a bit, like early in mid-season this year. But he gets the call Double-A and hits 331. That's insane. And I think we're seeing a lot of hobby collectors and guys who just watch baseball in general starting to respect guys who just hit for average. I think Arias kind of lit a spark in the league. So, yeah.
Yeah, love the pick. Obviously, I'm super high on the kid. We got a glimpse of what he can do in the futures game. Highlight reel catch. Ripped a single, big base knock. Kid's awesome.
Yeah.
And now I got to go to the drawing board because that was my next pick.
Dude, this sucks. Me and you are going to be at each other all day.
Yeah.
And I think what are we at, 5th round? So we're at the 6th round. So we got 4 more rounds.
All right. I'm going to go with a homer pick. And it's not going to be either of the two names that you probably are expecting me to go with.
Wait, I'm going to guess James Toronto's, Moises Ballesteros, Owen Casey.
Yes. I'm going Moises Ballesteros. Right? There are a couple obvious ones on there. I'm skipping over Shaw. I'm skipping over Casey. I'm going Ballesteros.
Short king.
Yeah.
Dude, wait. Dude, it's so funny you fucking say that. I was going to say that. Bro, Rick, I was going to text you. This kid's fucking 5'7".
Yeah. Did you know his dimensions?
No!
He's listed at 195. He probably plays more like 240. He's a little meat
5'7", and
he's a meat wad.
He's meat wad. Dude, so I was looking down the top 100 list. I click. I'm like, oh, he's playing really well, and I'm like, this is a fucking midget.
Yes, dude. They list him at 195. I think they took that off of his middle school, off his middle school.
Oh my god, it's amazing. He's Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, but he hits absolute misses.
Good.
Yeah. He's developing really well behind the plate.
Hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, kid's awesome. He just impacts the baseball. He's been one of the fastest risers in the organization. He's in AAA, and I think he's honestly probably the best hitter in that lineup, which contains Casey, Triantos, and Matt Shaw.
Yeah, and dude, you know why I love this pick? He's 20 years old.
He's 20.
If when we're looking at these guys, a lot of these guys 20, 19, 21. They're in AA or high A. This kid is 20 years old in AAA. There's only one other guy that I'm kind of aware of that's doing that right now, and it was my first round pick, Roman Anthony. I was thinking about taking him. I was taking Ballesteros. I want to take him 3 rounds ago for my Montez pick. The kid's actually really good, but yes, he is a little fucking meatball. I love him. We need to find out what's Spanish for meatball. Carne huevo. Great pick. Who's your
man?
He's the big meat.
He's the big meat.
Oh my god.
Man, I have so many names on this list. I'm gonna go with the guy who already had tons of hype, tons of value before he even came stateside, and since he's been there, he's delivered, man. This year, especially in high A, I'm gonna go with Sebastian Walcott.
Okay, perfect, awesome pick.
Massively high upside, number 1 in the Rangers organization. I think just purely from a skills standpoint, the sky is the limit for this kid if you can put it all together.
Thoroughly agree. I remember when he got his Bowman first. Obviously, he had no auto, but his stuff was it was pretty hyped. And his color was going for a ton of money, and he struggled again mightily last year. And he has really shown that he's coming back. I think he's at 240 with 248 with 15 homers this year. Is he at 261? Oh,
yeah, he's been hot the last 10 days. Yeah,
awesome. And he's hit. I think he has 15 homers this year. How old is he? I think he's 19. 19.
Oh yeah, super. He's not even 19 yet. He's 18.
I think he's 18. Yeah. So you're seeing from this level, just absolute stud. And I just picked up a green grass PSA 10 auto of him, and I have another green grass auto PSA 10 of him at PSA. His first autos are technically his mega box from 24 mega box autos.
Yeah, he's got and in Bowman. Yeah. Bowman and in Bowman Megas, he's got autos in both, which are his first autos, kind of like Brady House, kind of like some of those guys that didn't, his color and his first chromes are in 23 chrome sapphire. Yeah.
Fuck, I really love that pick too. And he's obviously 18 years old, having those kind of stats, and he just got his call for AA for the last week of the season. I'm guessing it's just a test, see how he is for 3 games going into spring training. Kid's going to be a monster. Again, another Yordan Alvarez-esque kind of player who can play the field. He's going to be good ball player. I love that pick. Fuck, I love that pick. God, I don't think I even had Walcott down. I think I just forgot about him. That's a fucking awesome pick. God damn it, that's such a good pick. Oh God, who do I throw here? I'm again gonna go with because you know me, I love college baseball. I am gonna go with Nick Kurtz. And why I'm gonna go with Nick Kurtz, if you're gonna look at these guys that were just drafted, he shows out more than anyone in this draft class. I'll pull up the stats. After this draft, when these guys were getting their assignments and everything, he went to his low assignment, hit the fucking piss out of the ball, and just kind of kept going. He's really showing off for a big first baseman. And I like this pick for me because I think there's a real void for a big first baseman in the MLB for hobby wise. There's really not a lot that people are going after right now. And 21-year-old who went to Wake Forest, played with obviously our boys Chase Burns and Rhett Lauder. So in his small sample size, obviously, I think only like 15 games, he's hit 400 in low A and then skipped high A, went right to double A, and in 5 games had hit 308. I just think he's going to be huge when his cards debut. And actually quite a bit of a sleeper because he's an Oakland Athletic. So,
yeah,
big,
I don't know how big of a
riser.
sleeper the number. Yeah, I don't know how big of a sleeper the number 4 overall pick with those kind of stats can be, but yes, he's got the organizational knock against him. But you and I fucking love ace prospects, so
yeah, we really do. We really do. Let's see. Laptop is loading real quick. Great. Give me a second.
You figure that out. We'll move on to Tommy.
Yeah, Tom, you go.
My next pick, probably have a Bowman auto this year, but it's going to be Chase Burns, most electric pitcher in college this past year. I think he's going to pitch phenomenally. Probably just about Rhett Lauder. Oh, there goes Dakota. But yeah,
We'll be back. Quick restart.
But yeah, I think Chase Burns realistically is going to end up being a number 1, 2 in that rotation. I think he's probably going to end up being like, what do you think, 12, 13K per 9 guy, if not more.
Absolutely.
So
yep, that rotation is going to be freaking scary.
In a couple of years, he's 100%.
Yeah, if Lodolo Green stay healthy, Lauder keeps doing what he's doing, Chase Burns, Jesus, dude, they're going to be absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, he's clearly the number 1 arm that's going to be in the upcoming draft product. He'll be one of the names to chase, no doubt, and his cards will be very, very expensive.
Hi, I'm back. Yeah, love it. Chase Burns is obviously someone that me and Tom have talked about for quite a bit, being one of the most prominent arms in this draft. I remember when the draft was going on, I texted Tom right away. I actually called him, but I think you were busy with something. And I was like, holy shit, Chase Burns just went 2nd overall. And I mean, obviously a big Wake Forest has been putting out big arms the last few years with Rhett Lauder and just big guys, Nick Kurtz, for example. I think Chase Burns is going to be another really my only concern with Chase Burns, just kind of like value wise, is I think he is actually going to be one of the guys that they might push to Bowman flagship. I just think that they kind of do that with some guys. And I think that 2nd overall kind of one kind of gets pushed. I don't know why, but I think he'll be the one to be the highlight of the first Bowman for next year. Tom, you're number 2 for this round.
How many more do I have? 2, 4, 6, 7. 2 more picks?
Yeah.
All right. No, we're just gonna do
no, 3. Oh yeah, 2 after this one. 2 after this one.
Are we doing 9 or 10?
10.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were doing 9, like a lineup card. We're doing 10.
All right, we'll do 9. We'll do 9. We'll do 9.
Yeah, let's do
All
9.
Don't scream at me.
All right. Well, this one I kind of believe Rick brought him up once, and I kind of looked into his stats a little bit more. Saw that he is going to be in the next Bowman product. Dodgers guy, Emil Morales.
Ooh.
Fuck yeah, great pick.
Lighting it up.
Whoa.
Great pick.
I didn't think Tom was going to do a deep cut. Holy shit.
Over Leo DeVries, too. Great pick. I love it. Wow.
Hitting 340, almost a 500 on base percentage, which is just absurd. 14 homers, 12 stolen bases. Apparently, the kid could do it all.
He's the highlight of 2024 Chrome, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Debatable.
I actually just looked because I didn't know. So they were just auctioning off spots for his card in these rips. And one of them's going for $80 off rip just for that spot.
It's actually not that bad.
For
I mean, there's still
well, random PYPs, depending on how many cases are in it, like a random PYP goes for like $15. So if
what is the high end PYP go? Like number one spot. Like what was Ethan Salas going for last year?
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, a lot.
Like 250 in a case, probably maybe 500.
Yeah, depending on how many cases are in it. Yeah, he was going for hundreds of dollars.
So right now,
So 80's not bad.
$120 case. There's still 2 days left on it. It's $300 right now.
I ain't doing one. Don't convince me, Rick. I ain't doing one.
Do it. I'm gonna do it.
We're not fucking doing it, dude. I bought in 4 days ago. Oh god. I don't know which way I want to go. I'm kind of in between. Do I want to hit recent draft guys again, or do I want to hit someone that's currently was really hot this year? Oh yeah, I got mine. Yeah, Rick, you know where I'm going here. I'm going with Cam Collier. This is just, I should have took him so long ago. Obviously, if you don't know Cam Collier, look him up. 19-year-old Reds prospect. I wish it was Red Sox prospect. Kid is so goddamn good. Cam Collier has become, in my opinion, one of the most prominent prospects in baseball. At 19 years old, I believe he's hitting 248. I have it right here. It's popping up. So we got Cam Collier, 248. I know it because I look at his stats every fucking day. 248 with 20 home runs, 798 OPS. Obviously struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season. But he's 19. 19 years old third baseman for the Reds. And it was all in high A this year. He had 20 home runs all in high A at 19. Strikeout number is low concerning, 127 to a 66 walk. I don't think it's that bad because he's 19 and I don't know if you know, but he's 19. Like I said.
So actually, a story about him is he was part of that youth prospects Phillies team with Drew Jones, Carson Sabathia, and Blake Sear. The team was absolutely loaded.
Oh God, yeah. And I mean, he was an 18th overall in the 22 draft. Yeah, he's a high school pick, and he's rising so fast. And obviously getting older, he's becoming more mature and kind of picking and choosing his pitches, going to have more control at the plate and stuff. I just think he's going to be absolute stud. And his cards are already crazy high because Tom, one of the cards that I bought back from that deal was my Cam Collier Atomic PSA 10 auto. I will not let that go again. I got to put like an insane price on it because I'll never let it go.
To be fair, I never thought he was going to be a home run hitter, and he's just completely killed
20 home runs. I mean, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. He's an absolute stud. Absolute stud.
Yeah.
Rick,
Futures game MVP.
Futures game MVP. Don't forget that. I forgot to say that shit. He's a dog. Dog. Rick, you got your last two here, buddy.
Man.
This episode went way longer than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah,
we thought half hour.
It's fun as hell, though.
Oh yes, it is, and I hope everyone enjoys listening. It's fantastic. It's a good. I mean, it's a great list for who to invest in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with probably one of the craziest single season rises that I can remember from a guy that was completely unheard of to a guy who's so firmly on the radar.
God damn it.
It's your boy. It's Christian Campbell.
God damn it. Yeah. God, dude. I mean,
we talked about this kid segment after segment, podcast after podcast, right? He was basically the floor of basically a floor team in 23 draft. And now he's as hot as anybody in any level of the minor leagues.
Yeah, dude. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I have the great story. Tom, I don't know if you heard this story. I think I bought like a Red Sox lot off someone, or like I think I bought a single card. And there's some guys on Facebook who are really awesome and will always throw you some extras. You know, a Bowman first, like $5 auto or here. Like people are really awesome. One of the cards is a Christian Campbell Bowman first auto base. I got it for free, dude, and now it's going for I think it's only for close to $100 now. So thanks, whoever did it. Thank you. I love you, and I appreciate it. So Christian Campbell started in high A this year, hit 306, moved up to double A for 56 games, hit 362 with 8 homers. His fucking call up to triple A, 16 games, he's hit 254 with 4 home runs. You know, obviously 254 isn't godlike, but I mean, it's his first touch to. He's a second baseman, and the Red Sox have the worst second base group in the MLB, like we talked about, and he is just crazy. I can't believe he hasn't got the call, but I think he has the Campbell. I think he has the most obvious case to be right on the roster next year, and offseason buy, big huge riser in my opinion. So that's a great pick. I hate you. That's a great pick.
Oh man, I gotta close it out here, and I've gone this entire time without taking anybody from the 2024 draft class.
I think I already know who you're gonna pick.
You know, I'm gonna go that way, and I'm not gonna take a couple of the big names that are on this list. This kid's a big name. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna go JJ Weatherhole.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. I mean, already what he's doing in his debut in A-ball is fantastic. He's walked more than he struck out. He's impacting the baseball. His OPS is over 800. He's hitting damn near 300. So I think he's going to be a stud. I mean, that Mason win, JJ Weatherhole, it just has a ring to it. That double play combination. So I think the kid's a stud.
Yeah. A West Virginia kid. What University of West Virginia was one of the he was going into the college baseball season. He was actually consensus first overall pick going into the season. Him and
Honeycutt,
Vance Honeycutt, yeah. From UNC. Both were great. Obviously, they were surpassed by a lot of guys, but it's not something to scoff at. Jay Weatherhold's a fucking animal, and very much a Bobby Witt Jr. build. You know, hopefully he can kind of get more power. But yeah, second base. I think he's going to end up being a second baseman. But
yep,
fucking awesome pick, dude. I mean, he's actually an absolute stud and has stood out besides Nick Kurtz to be one of the best in that class so far to jump out of the gate. So I got a lot of guys here, and I want to go with Leo DeVry because of Bowman Chrome right now, but I'm not going to fucking do it. This is one that I don't think, Rick, you would even think I'm going to pick, or Tom. This is someone who has mightily struggled all year, but has come back since his injury and has been an absolute fucking monster. I'm going with Chase DeLauter. So the reason I'm picking Chase DeLauter is because he was supposed to be, I mean, his spring training was phenomenal. Crazy spring training. I think he broke his wrist, and he came back for a hot minute and then was just absolutely garbage, just like terrible. But since he came back, dude, he's been unreal. He went right to AAA since his call up. He got 6 games there, hit 304, 2 home runs, and then in AA, he hit 252 with 5 homers. He looks really good, and obviously, he was ready to get the call up at the beginning of the year. 22 years old, first round pick, 16th overall. Still really young, obviously. I just think he went to James Madison, who's actually a pretty good baseball school now. I do think DeLauder is going to be a huge name we're going to see going into spring training. He's going to have a lot of value, and this stuff is actually really low compared to what it used to be. Colors and stuff are going to be pretty cheap. So that'll be my final pick for the draft. Tom, your final pick. Unless, Rick, you got something to say about DeLauder?
No, I mean, I love this kid. I mean, he was the top prospect in the guard system before the draft, before they took Pizzana. His true blues were going for like 1,500 plus in a PSA 10 early this year. I saw one just at 486.
I was about to say, I can only assume they're going to be at 500. I think there's a lot of there's clearly a lot of value there, and he has what I love about it. There's a trend. There's a trend of his prices, and I think he's going to jump into a really hype spot coming to spring training.
Yeah, agreed. And since he's got called up to AAA like a week ago, and he's been fucking killing the ball.
Yeah, crushing. Tom, what do you think about DeLauder?
I'm not a huge fan.
Ooh,
but hey,
a hater. A Josh hater.
Like you said, once he's come back from this injury, he's kind of heated up a little bit, but before that, there's really not been any single thing that stood out to me that says, oh, this guy's going to live up to the expectations that he's had. So we'll see, though.
All right. And Tom, your final pick for the draft.
Do I be another homer and a guy that might get called up by the end of the year? Or do I just kind of go with a long shot, or I go with a different one?
I think there's a lot of guys that you could pick right now, like a ton.
Oh,
like
I think I'm gonna go with the one.
As long as there's like some good value, it's a value draft.
It is a value draft. Fuck it. We're gonna pass on Jacob Miz.
Oh.
And we're going Cole Carrick.
Oh.
Sneaky pick. I like it.
That's sneaky. His stuff has been hot lately.
So, 22-year-old outfielder in the Rockies organization, which is always a plus in my opinion. I mean, we've seen Veen kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But 284 average, 17 homers, and 53 stolen bases this year. So
power speed combo, man. That's
as a catcher who turned outfielder. I mean, we love gadget dual position eligibility catchers on this podcast. So
yes,
Carrick's no exception.
I mean, a power speed combo like that obviously turned outfielder. And going to Coors Field, obviously, if you get on base, stolen base, and ball flies there, obviously, so we've seen it. I mean, obviously, you can stick with it. They always need a star guy, and they really haven't had a big star since, God.
Cargo,
Cargo. I mean, Tovar is clearly showing that he's a superstar.
Tulo.
And, Tulo. I mean, maybe Cole Carrick could be the next Tulo in Colorado. It's a great pick. It really is. And I do often see him. I do often see him be a big name. I see on Facebook and Instagram, eBay, all that kind of jazz. So big. Cole Carrick's actually a really great name because his stuff's still really cheap and it's good to buy his color. Like I think I'm assuming you can actually buy his color match purple for $50, Rick, somewhere around there.
Yeah. They command a little bit more, right? The Rockies color match.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still very cheap. I just bought a base chrome for like $8 a couple weeks ago and whatnot.
Yeah.
I had a PSA
Tom,
for 12. So
yeah, Tom, I actually think he's a great buy for you because if you can buy a raw color match purple, give it to Rick to clean and grade. I think that'll be a real good buy for you.
Yep, definitely.
Well, that will conclude our 2025 way too early value draft. I actually think this draft is a good basis for some people to look at if you're definitely looking to invest. Obviously, I would say some of the higher names in the draft command a lot more money. Some of the guys at the bottom are going to be real good buys to hold on to and make some money on them, or just collect in general. I think a lot of them are going to be superstars. But I will post some pics on these guys. Thanks for listening as always. This is episode 22. I think this is actually one of our funner episodes. I had a good amount of time, guys. Thanks for having fun with me. And
more of these things.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. We're gonna get some more. I'll get some images going on the Instagram, and you guys can vote on the Instagram who had the best draft. It's me. I actually really like Rick's. I really like Rick. As soon as I see Bryce Eldridge in the 3rd round, I love it. I can't believe you took him. I'm so fucking pissed off. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening to episode 22. We'll get this out soon, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Peace, guys.